there are three words that characterizes. I mean, he wrote these words in his Bible.
他在他圣经里面呢，他有3句话。
And when he was young, for the Lord's interest, he wanted to have no reserves.
他讲，在他年轻，他为着主的权益，他是没有保留的。
And he also wrote that there's no retreats.
他也说他是没有后退，没有撤退。
And then also no regrets.
他也是没有遗憾的，罪魁。
But because of this, I was shown mercy.
然而我所以蒙了怜悯。
That in me, the foremost, Jesus Christ, might display all his long suffering for a pattern to those who are to believe on him unto eternal life.
然而我所以蒙了怜悯，是要叫耶稣基督在我这罪魁身上显示他一切的恩能，给后。
We're reminded of the picture of a relay race.
我们特别是被提醒，就是一个接力赛的图画。
You know, in the relay race, the baton must be passed from one to another.
在这一个接力赛的时候，那个接力棒要从一个人手里传到另外一个人手里。
And we realize that we corporately, we brothers, it is the time for us to pass on the baton to you corporately.
我们的弟兄们意识到，我们这个接力棒需要从我们手中团体的传递给另外一个，就是在座的弟兄们一个团体。
You know, dear brothers and sisters, in a relay race, when the baton is passed, there is a zone which is called the transitional zone.
在接力赛的时候，在接送棒之前，中间有一段距离，那是叫过渡的这个距离。
So we feel the Lord has given us time for this year to serve as a time zone of passing on the baton.
我们觉得今年一年的时间就是这一段时间来交接。
And we believe this is not a year of transition. I don't want to call it a year of transition.
我们不愿意用一个过渡年的这个词汇。
But I want to call it it's a year of advancement and enlargement.
我们想把今年叫成往前和扩大的一年。
Today we will say, whoever is for the Lord, come forward.
凡属耶和华的，都到我这里来。
We will pass on.
我们会过去，
But the testimony must continue,
但是见证必须继续，
must be strengthened,
并且得以加强，
must be enlarged,
并且被扩大，
must advance.
并且更能够往前。
And I believe that this is the time we all need to reconsecrate ourselves.
我相信这个时候是我们一个一个更新奉献的时候。
We are only sounding a general call.
我们只是一般性的发出呼召。
And we know that there are many of you who are serving.
我们知道你们许多人都在服事里面。
Renew your consecration.
更新你的奉献。
So that you will serve with more vigor and renewed enthusiasm.
你更是在你的服事里面更有活力，更有热情。
and there are many other saints. And so now what I want to bring out this, when we talk about, oh, let's enlarge, let's advance, specifically, I think practically we need to trailblaze. I believe in this area, because of our location, because of our history, because of our contact, because of our burden, I believe we can set as such an example for the other churches to follow. Now, I hope you will hear this, okay? We are not just trying to, oh, well, last year we do this year let's do 10% more. No, I think we should have a kind of a burden. How should I say? The other day somebody used the word, so we need to have the burden to hope that the Lord will give us a new, fresh start for this, and New York will lead the way. Amen. Do you understand? Help me understand. You see, this, therefore, it's necessary, must supersede just districts and just these few. We must have, the whole church will bear this burden with the saints. Amen. Spare no effort to support this in whatever ways that we can approach. We need to pray, of course we need to pray, but also we need to ask the Lord to give us practical ways how to spearhead this burden in New York, in the East Coast, and even lead for the other churches to follow. Okay. Now this, to me, is really a practical way to how to further advance and further enlarge. Amen. And we brothers will be not in the front line, but we're in the back supporting you full 100%. Such a future.
弟兄姊妹们，我相信在纽约市教会，我们有这样的前途。
And the opportunities of I mentioned about the service enterprise of Penuel will be many more opportunities to blend with others.
我相信像这个毗努伊勒这样的实行，我们相信会带进各方面的相调。
And I believe that we will have more blending with the churches in New Jersey.
我相信我们会有更多的和新泽西众召会的相调。
We certainly hope to see that the northern churches, the churches in northern New Jersey, in Nutley and in Fair Lawn, they will have many more fellowship with with Upper Manhattan, Bronx, and White Plain, and Westchester.
我们相信，新泽西北部的召会 ，Nutley 和 Fair Lawn 会和Bronx 和更北的和曼哈顿上城和 Bronx 这一带弟兄姊妹们有更多的相调和交通。
And I failed to mention that actually this year we already started the blending between the Chinese-speaking saints and the Spanish-speaking saints in Bronx.
我忘了交通一点，今年在布朗区。这个华语和西班牙语早就开始了这样的相调。
Actually, that in northern New Jersey, in these two places, they have a number of Spanish-speaking saints as well as Korean-speaking saints.
在我提到的新泽西北部纳特利和 Fair Lawn 这两处教会，他们有许多西班牙语和韩语的圣徒们。
They will strengthen very much for that trailblazing on the gospels in these languages. We need to blend more with the other churches.
他们在西班牙语和韩语的福音上比我们有更强的开拓，我们盼望借着相调，也能从他们有所学习和得着帮助。
And we hope eventually when the meeting in Brooklyn expanded to southern Brooklyn, even to Staten Island, and then we can connect over to central New Jersey.
我们更盼望这个在布鲁克林继续往南发展，一直延伸到斯坦岛，而后再通过斯坦岛能和新泽西南部的众召会再调起来。
And already started the meeting in Mid-Hudson Valley, in Rosendale, and they will go up and have more fellowship with Upper Manhattan, Upper New York, Albany, Syracuse, and so on.
我们知道今年在这个Mid-Hudson Valley 那个 Rosendale 召会已经开始， 我们盼望他们继续往上，能够和Albany教会能够挑起来。
And of course, we do not forget the eastern Long Island. We go to Nassau and then Suffolk in Stony Brook. Our brother already started there, moving there.
我们不会忘记长岛，我们会继续往东扩展到这个 NASA 这个郡，还有到 Suffolk 这个郡，一直往东扩展。
So you see, brothers and sisters, much to look forward to, the blending and the relevance.
弟兄姊妹，你看到我们这个展望，就是要加强相调，并且要让圣徒们适得其所。
Legacy here that we need to pass on to the younger generation.
我意识到我们有许多非常丰富宝贝的传承，需要传给我们的新的一代。
Just as among the saints here, those who have gone through all these years, you remember how you've committed yourself in the first altar, and how now you're between the second altar, you still have a relevant role.
有不少的弟兄姊妹们坐在这里，你们可以回想你们那时候所经历的，经过奉献的祭坛，来到与主有深刻交通的那个金香坛，那是一个何等的丰富的经历。
Remember the young, huh?
要记住那些年幼的。
So therefore, I hope that in starting these two new book rooms, and that in addition to the ones here, and of course we have some book room in Manhattan and in Brooklyn, but I think that we need to continue to enlarge this to include both the old and the young.
我盼望这地方的书房加上曼哈顿的书房，还有要新开始的这些新的地方，我们不仅是要顾到年幼的，也要记住照顾到那些年长的。
And particularly, I hope that because these are printed, these are not electronic, the younger generation, of course, they have shorter span of attention and so on. So I think that many older ones, they have, out of their rich experience, I hope they can inspire our younger generation.
Amen. 尤其年幼的一代你们虽然用电子书用的多，但是你们这个有大部分弟兄姊妹这个 attention span 就是集中力量注意力非常短我们盼望我们这年长弟兄姊妹们的他们一些丰富的经历能够传承给你们。
And I hope that there will be very good rubbing off of some good habits and some good experiences. Can pass on to our younger generation.
我们盼望你们要从这些年长弟兄姊妹们身上真的是从他们身上得着一些祝福从他们身上学到一些东西，能够传承下去。
I don't know, maybe you can form some book clubs and all kinds of things.
明年也许我们会形成一些读书会有许多读书的聚会，弟兄姊妹们一同的来追求执事书报。
And I believe you will find your proper niche there.
我相信你会在这些过程里面找到你的安居之所。
You will be happy and you will become animated and vibrant.
我相信你会喜乐，你会真的是活灵活现的有活力，活在教会生活里面。
And Brother Ed and I may not witness all that, but we envision this new era.
爱的弟兄和我也许不一定会看得见所有这些事情的实现，但是我们相信这会带进一个新的时代。
This, I believe, dear brothers and sisters, is what the future holds.
弟兄姊妹们，我相信这是我们的前途，我们的前面的路所陈明给我们的。
And so I want to use this opportunity to solemnly declare that I'm doing so without any mental reservation
without any coercion, but completely of my free will. And I feel it is important at this moment. I want to demonstrate the soundness of my mind and the clarity of my spirit and the clear sense of burden for the church here. And I feel now is the right moment to do so without interrupted. And I will just continue to declare this. I'm addressing this to my fellow serving brothers in the church in New York City. The recent years, that many places, when they were writing to represent what they were doing, they usually say the serving brothers, which actually touched me, that I think that's what I want to address it to. I want to address all my fellow serving brothers, boots on the ground, and get very close to the saints. I believe I have observed in my 60 years service here, almost 60 years, I have observed who are the ones I called my serving brothers. To my serving brothers in the church city in New York is now my latest thinking. I wanted to essentially passing on the serving of the church to you brothers. And I hope that this, as you know that I mentioned, there's no seniority. You meet once a week or twice a week. So with that, I want you to come together, set a time, you can start taking care of things, because I don't want anything falling through the cracks. I want the brothers in different districts in close touch with saints, be the effective link. I must tell you, I'm very thankful I have you as my serving brothers here. On behalf of all my fellow serving brothers here in the church in New York City, for these 50 plus years, I have warmly welcomed every one of you to come to this time. And I know that you brothers are coming from every part of the world. And I want to welcome you to come to this 2017 Memorial Day International Conference here this weekend in White Plains, New York. In hosting this conference, I'm reminded that we are remembering, I don't use the word celebrating, but I said we are remembering, or we are observing, this is the 60th anniversary of the church life in New York. The church here first met on January the 5th, 1958. That was the first Lord's Table meeting, and it has continued uninterrupted until today, and will continue.
The presence of our dear brother here with us this morning, after
absence from speaking in any of the 7 feast meetings, I feel we're all very privileged.
Amen.
As the hosting church for this gathering, we're so happy that we can be gathered here like this. But I feel I need to say a few words before the saints. I don't want to rob you of all the time of sharing after this wonderful message. I still feel I need to say a few words. I feel that our brother put the church in New York in such a light, relating to Brother Lee's ministry in the West, in the English-speaking world. And I thought that was really wonderful, and make us all feel the light was on us, and we're so privileged. And indeed, in reminding us of his early day ministry in the 1950s, and it still sounded so fresh and real to us today. And I feel that the Lord is very gracious to us in preserving us until today. After 60 years, I feel that if it's not His mercy to preserve us until now, the Lord's testimony experienced by us will be very different.
Right.
I feel that after 60 years, the Lord still gives us the opportunity to testify His mercy and His grace, that it is all His mercy that He preserved us, that we're here, still here today. It is nothing of what we are, but it is all what He has done. And He preserved us this way to show that the Lord's recovery is relevant in every age, and it can stand the test of time.
Amen.
And I feel that we are so privileged that the Lord keep us until today, so that we all can say that His purpose is real.
Amen.
And His testimony is real. Amen. And even for those of us who are so little, so puny, so insignificant, and yet He has chosen us to testify, it will pass through the time. So I'm so full of thanks today that we can all be here to continue to testify this testimony of oneness of the body of Christ. Amen. Not only we could enjoy at the Lord's table this morning to demonstrate, to celebrate this testimony of oneness among His people all over the world, but also this will continue. This will continue. And it will continue in every generation. And it's so wonderful to see so many younger generations among us today, yes, and to see so many families. And we know Lord's desire, Lord's purpose, God's economy is full of bright future. Amen.